introducing on the show for the very first time, Mr. Hozaifa. Sustainable housing. Sustainable cities. This is the word we constantly use, but do we really mean it, or what's the essence of this now? But when we talk sustainable, whether it be housing, cities, what comes to your mind? And what should we be thinking about as policymakers, as individuals? What should we be thinking?
Right. So the word sustainable, right, has been so much overused that usually the general public, the first thing in their mind, solar panel. The first thing it comes in mind is high-end technology. It's our first thing comes in mind.
Yeah.
Something which
Correct.
is beyond our grasp. Something utopian. It does not exist.
Correct.
And unfortunately, the whole world and different sectors of the economy has contributed towards. And yes, media has been one of the major contributors as well. But then there have been events where people actually question that, is this a myth or is it actually something which is tangible? And yes, sustainable is something which is very much tangible.
Yeah.
The concept is very simple. It's just simple definition that sustainability means that what you're enjoying today, your children and your grandchildren should be able to enjoy that in the future.
Yeah.
And in fact, they should enjoy it much more efficiently than you are.
Yeah.
Simply put, if you use all the fossil fuels in your lifetime, your children will be without them. Or if you use up all the electricity, the children will be without them. So the idea is that the generations to be able to sustain something. It's talking about the future, it's talking about resilience. That sustainable cities and sustainable housing developments are developments which can sustain the future, not only this generation, but the future generations to come.
Yeah.
Today, I think we are in a very important crossroads because I'm quite sure everybody agrees on climate change. It's the biggest threat the world is facing today. And sustainability does try to answer those questions. That if we don't check where we are going, if we don't become sustainable in literal meanings, the world will not survive. The very definition of sustainability means that the humans have to sustain their race and their generations and their existence for that matter, right?
Yeah.
So that is why this matter or this topic is so sensitive, and we as professionals have to call out on things which are myths and things which are facts.
Yeah.
That has to be there.
Essence of sustainable housing fuses into sustainable cities. But before we get into the details of that, what would qualify for you as quality housing?
For me, what is quality is things which, again, can sustain, which I, as a father, can give my kid, who can give his kid. And for me, that is quality. People mistake quality with luxury, having branded stuff, branded tiles.
So from your perspective, quality is much with durability.
Yes, durability and efficiency.
Durability and efficiency, okay.
Because I feel personally that the world has no space for luxury now, unfortunately, especially after the pandemic, after the current situation, after the world economic crisis. We don't have the luxury of owning luxury. Let's put it that way. We all have to become sensitive now. And only if we are sustainable in our approach will we actually sustain again.
Yeah.
Right? It's just simple. It's not rocket science.
Yeah.
The word itself talks about three things, right? The three C's: climate, culture, context. Or planet, people, profit. The thing is, it's a triangle. And sustainability is the center of it. Some people say that, you know what, environmental architecture is sustainable architecture. That's wrong. That's environmental architecture. That's not sustainable architecture. You could make a building which is zero net, does not use electricity, does not use plumbing, does not use sewage systems, generates its own water, but that is an energy efficient building. It's not a sustainable building, because right now the cost of making that house would be ridiculously expensive. And when it becomes so expensive that people cannot buy it, it does not become mainstream, it's not sustainable economically. At the same time, if you make a cultural building only, let's say museums, you lose again the cost and the environment. So sustainability is a balance. It's almost like a compromise. It's a tug and pull of all these three things. But for us, as you mentioned, that Uganda and sustainable cities in Uganda, why is it so different? Because a sustainable city in Uganda will be very different from a sustainable city in India. It will be very different from the USA, and it will be very different from the UK. Because again, just like the climates are completely different, the people are completely different, the economics are completely different.
Yeah.
You cannot compare the three. So we have to find tailor-made solutions of sustainability for that city or that country. And sustainability only talks about one thing: getting the best out of that. So The idea is, if you tell me, Josefa, what is the definition of sustainability in Uganda? It's to make Uganda the best it can be.
Incredible. It's a property insight, and we will have more of this.